Yo, what's good? It's your boy Tap, and I'm back like a quick attack. And this time, we're in the EUIC Championship meta. Now, I've been playing the EUIC Championship meta in Battle Frontier for the past 4 weeks, and I've been doing pretty okay. So I already knew Dragalge was sauce. So off rip, I just wanted to use Dragalge. Um, I didn't get a lot of practice with Ariados in Show 6, but I did think that it would be a little bit saucy in Blind 3 because Megahorn, no one ever respects it. Now, you always expect Ariados to be on Trailblaze and Lunge, but for the EUIC meta, Megahorn is expected. Now, since it's only day one, I only expect this to work on day one, honestly. After a while, people will start respecting the Megahorn, but day one, nobody respected the Megahorn, and Dragalge is him. Now, EUIC is probably the least RPS meta I've ever participated in. LAIC also wasn't very RPS, so it's not like very alignment dependent. It is a lot about energy management and understanding how specific matchups play out. Once you understand how specific matchups play out, it can be kind of RPS, but the meta isn't so extremely obvious where it's like, oh, put Bastion on Talonflame and put Wigglytuff on Annihilate or whatever. Like, it's not as straightforward as a normal meta. Right at the beginning of the meta, everyone kind of understood that Double Dragon was really broken. But in Show 6, you don't really see Double Dragon used that often because it's not as like useful when you can understand everything an opponent can bring and your best course of action to defeat what your opponent can bring. It's a little bit different. You don't necessarily have to rely on ABB teams or anything. You can go ABA, you can go ABC, or you can just like play in a line that you may predict your opponent wants to run, and if you're right, you can win that way. Now, unfortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, this will probably be a two-part video because I really do want to get this video out now. But this actually started off as a duo stream with me and my good friend Overlord Raikou, who is the one who built this team actually for this for the blind version of EUIC. And so the first two battles, which I think were kind of fire, are actually on his VOD. We had a little bit of technical issues, and we had to switch over to a solo stream. We will be retrying again tonight at 9:30. Well, not 9:30, probably a little bit earlier than 9:30 because we're in different time zones. But like around 9 p.m. EST, we will be trying again. So I'm probably gonna show you the three battles from the finishing of this set, and then two other battle examples of Ariados and Dragalge combo. And yeah, I said I wouldn't talk about team strategy too much, but yeah, I mean, we're ABA poison, so you could play this in the ABA style if you really want to. And we're also ABB dragon, so there is some kind of strategy to it. But other than that, this is like again not a very RPS meta. Okay, yo, we're done rambling. Yo, let's get into some of these championship battles. All right, getting into the first battle, which is really the third battle. I'll be shoutcasting and explaining a couple things. But Ariados is really good. It has Poison Sting into Grimmsnarl, and Grimmsnarl is a spicy pick that people will be experimenting with in the first week. Most people, I mean, it does have a lot of play, but most people really don't. Well, Grimmsnarl doesn't have a. It does have a lot of play, but it doesn't have the best bulk. And Play Rough takes 9 sucker punches to get to, and PV Poke suggests you run Play Rough. I suggest you run Power Up Punch. It takes 5 sucker punches to get to Power Up Punch, and then 6 to get to Foul Play. 9 whole sucker punches on such a glassy Pokemon isn't amazing. Now in this particular battle, I don't go up to the Megahorn and try to like straight up nuke them because I understand that Grimmsnarl is a glassy Pokemon and will probably respect the lunge. They end up switching in a Lickitung, and we end up lunging this Lickitung before switching over to our Kingdra, which I like this play because our other Pokemon is Dragalge, and in this meta, Licky normally runs Earthquake, but I've been noticing that a lot of people haven't changed their moveset for this meta. Like, they see what Pokemon you can use, but they've just been like putting their Pokemon as is on the team. I ran into a Shadow Claw Spidops. I ran into a couple of things, but there are a couple of people who have been listening. I saw like a double kick Incineroar, but yeah, Grimmsnarl comes back in, and we're able to queue up a Swift right into Grimmsnarl. You can see the glass on Grimmsnarl right here. That the Swift looks like crazy damage right now. So he's going to foul play my Kingdra, and I'm fine with just letting my Kingdra go down. This is why I've said I'm going to shoutcast and explain at the same time. I'm on acid on my Dragalge, and specifically for this reason. I think Grimmsnarl Closer becomes a little bit too hard with the ABB Dragon if both of your Dragon Pokemon are on a Dragon type fast move, then Grimmsnarl gets to like just have his way with your team. And so for this reason, I end up going for Acid Dragalge. Now you can see that the opposing Dragalge that comes in is on Dragon Tail. I don't even bother baiting. I go straight for the outrage, and they rightly respect the outrage. But we're going to live these Dragon Tails and still get to another outrage, and we're still able to maintain our shield. Now, I realized that very early on that nothing really beats Dragalge with the shield. I mean, it's pretty much obvious as with most Pokemon, but Dragalge specifically with the shield advantage in the end game and energy advantage can win most end games in this meta. All right, get into another battle, and it is Ariados into Licky Licky. Now, I would rather have like maybe double kick double instead in this position, but we're going to stay in here. And this is likely where I'm going to do the whole Mega Horn thing. And this is like it. We go for 7. You get to Mega Horn in 7. So throwing your Mega Horn right away in the Licky matchup is actually good timing. So you can throw the Mega Horn as soon as you get it. And as you can see, because nobody wants to shield up a lunge and nobody wants to shield up the first Trailblaze, they're all letting the Mega Horn go. And you can see that I get big damage and I'm able to switch over into my Kingdra. Now they're going to have to switch out or they're going to get farmed down, and they end up their counter swap ends up being Galvantula. I'm happy to bait this Galvantula out because Galvantula loves to debuff with their lunge, and so because they're so desperate for the debuff, they don't normally track energy and they'll shield anything. And I probably maybe Swift actually is worth shielding anyway because Galvantula is an extremely glassy Pokemon even after a lunge debuff. But because we went for a Swift instead of Outrage, we're able to get to another Swift. And we actually pull both shields off of this Galvantula. The best part about having Dragalge in the back for this matchup is now we have a crazy shield advantage for Dragalge, which I told you is how you can just win in the end game here. And now that we have the shield advantage, we can actually get an energy advantage too. Now this thing is going to be spamming out lunges and debuffing me like crazy, and we're not very happy about it. But they end up switching, and it gives me the opportunity to switch out and save my energy without having to throw them debuff. When they switch into Sableye, and I'm a little bit scared, but I think that I can live the foul play, and we barely live the foul play, and I settle for a lunge because I don't believe that if we settled for Megahorn, that we would have made it. Those Shadow Claws were really chunking, and it looks like the Shadow Claw would have took us out before we got to it. So right now, it's 1v3. It's Dragalge versus 3 Pokemon. Now, I remember this in the moment, and I wasn't sure if Aqua Tail would have been enough. It would have been very nice if Aqua Tail was enough here, but I couldn't play any games. If he gets to a foul play, I'm in trouble. I have to use one of my shields. So I have a real low health Dragalge against 2 Pokemon in the back. A low Galvantula. And this Galvantula is coming in hoping that I throw some of my energy, but I don't plan on throwing any energy. And another low health Licky Licky comes in. We do not need an outrage for this Licky Licky. We can just queue up Aqua Tail. And yeah, man, we 2 shield flex with Dragalge and Spidops. That's not Spidops, Ariados. I was thinking about running Spidops though. I think that's why that was in my head. Spidops was in my first team idea, but I think Spidops is too obvious. All right, getting into another battle, and it's Ariados against Grimmsnarl again. Yeah, and I expect people to be testing out Grimmsnarl. I tested it out week 1. And yeah, I mean, my team captain really doesn't like Grimmsnarl. Um, and he had a whole speech for why not to run Grimmsnarl, and the speech actually made a lot of sense. And I just haven't had a hard time against Grimmsnarl, even when it's like supposedly countering me. And it's a little bit soft too. Like we didn't even go for Mega Horn there. That was straight up lunge. Now I wonder even if we go for the lunge and we debuff. And I remember in the moment, I thought about why I did this because this is putting me in a really bad position. I normally like to keep a shield advantage for my Dragalge so that it can outrage things in the end. Especially once Grimmsnarl is gone, it's pretty much the only outrage resist. So if you can save a shield advantage for your Dragalge, you're kind of chilling, right? I think in that particular position, I was wondering why they stayed in. And so I wanted to keep a little bit of a health on my Ariados because they were giving me the impression that maybe they were ABA weak to Ariados, the way they just let their Grimmsnarl get low and then they tried to like save it a bit. I don't know. It made me feel like Ariados might be a little bit more important. So I decided to keep some health on it. Now this body slam is not going to take me out because of the debuff, and you can see that there. And that's the thing. Sucker Punch really is good. Sucker Punch is an amazing move. He's able to get the farm down here, but it doesn't matter because we have acid on our Dragalge. We have Poison Sting on our Ariados anyway, and in comes Kingdra. Now I think in this particular, do I bait? Okay, all right. Well, they don't build up to the outrage, so I'm like, or at least I don't think that was enough. And so I just no shield here, and they send a Swift, and I'm like, I know I can live that Swift. Are they going to respect this outrage? They already saw Aquatail, but they saw outrage as well. They don't respect it, and their low licky licky just comes in and just gets farmed down. I think that even if they didn't respect it, it would have probably been a catch game on whether or not I get to my Mega Horn. And yeah, so that was a 5-0. But it was only because we did the final 3 battles on my stream because we had to cut our stream short. So I'll try to find 2 more battles to add to this video, and then hopefully Overlord Raikou post this VOD and I can show you the fire. I want to talk about the one battle, why I wanted to show that battle, but I could probably wait until we actually show the battle. But it was because I have with the ABB Dragon team, I'm a little bit really afraid of Milotic because Milotic is on Dragon Tail and it's Shadow Milotic. In the first game, we run into a Milotic with my Ariados lead, and they actually no shield the Mega Horn, which I that's when I started realizing I kind of knew before I used it that would happen. I just didn't expect it to happen that much, where like no one respected the Mega Horn, bro. Like you just throw after 7, and they're like, they don't even wondering why you're not throwing after 5. They're just like, okay, he wants to overfarm, and they let you Mega Horn them every time. Probably not after, well, I'm not that popular, so it'll probably last maybe 2 more days. But if this video does get popular, man, it's not gonna work anymore. You know how that goes. People will be shielding the Mega Horn. They'll either be shielding the Mega Horn or they will be countering your Ariados really hard. All right. So in this battle, it's Ariados versus Ariados. I think I remember how I felt here, and I figured I'm ABB. I might as well just ABB it. And so instead of figuring out who wins CMP and whether or not they will respect my Mega Horn, I just switched right into my Kingdra. It's kind of a bad idea because they're able to just get to a lunge, and it's not like it's gonna hurt, but being debuffed and then losing CMP, and this isn't the perfect game plan ever. But we're somehow able to pull a shield anyway, and we're also able to bait out a Dragonair, which my Acid Dragalge doesn't want to see. And I found that this team actually Kingdra, which makes sense, it is a dragon type, but it was really successfully baiting out the stuff that Dragalge didn't want to see. So we're gonna come in with Ariados, obviously, and like I said, I believe in the Dragalge closer movement here, and I've always believed in it. I mean, there's been a couple of times where I had to change my mind about running Dragalge closer because there've been like teams with 2 dragon counters on it and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm just like putting faith into Dragalge being able to handle this. So I'm not even trying to save any energy on my Ariados. I'm just trying to get rid of this Dragonair because I don't want to take any dragon type damage on my dragon Pokemon. So we're immediately going to switch over, and in comes their own Ariados again. And this also has only resisted moves. And again, I think we go for a CMP tie that we don't win. This lunge, it chips, you know, or we didn't tie there, where we tried to go for a CMP tie that we wouldn't have won. And I'm not even gonna bait. They got their lunge off. Maybe they're feeling comfortable, so I send the outrage. But this trainer respects the outrage. They're not playing around. They want Ariados to do the work. All this is really telegraphing to me is that there's probably a possibility that there's something that doesn't want to see dragon or poison type damage in the back. And so I'm just going to keep farming up. And yeah, they try to switch over. And let me know. Hold on, let me see something. Oh, okay. It wasn't DRE. Yo, in the moment, I was like, yo, was that DRE? But now that I'm rewatching it, yeah, we are just, my Ariados is just so saucy, bro. It actually lives the water shuriken to get to the lunge. And yeah, my opponent gets really upset. They rage quit. I don't think they were expecting us to live the water shurikens. I wasn't expecting to live the water shurikens. We do get to the lunge, and yeah, it's game over. I'm not gonna make you sit through this. All right, final battle. And these aren't curated or anything like that. Oh, actually, this isn't the final battle. Well, you know what? Let's review this battle too. I know I remember why this isn't the final battle, and it's because I know that we lose this battle. Now, this is the Shadow Beedrill, and it's a little bit scary, but again, it's really glassy. It doesn't respect the Mega Horn, but it kind of doesn't have to. It just has to get energy. You know what I mean? And so it sends the drill run, and we let it go. I think that might have been a mistake. And then we end up simul swapping, and they come in with their licky licky. And they go straight for the shadow ball. And you know what? Actually, kudos because it does a lot of damage, man. You would think that was stab damage. Anyway, we queue up our outrage, and they also don't respect it. Now they're in the red. We're still in the yellow. Uh, is switch entirely important here? Well, we have a low health B drill back there. Body slam is enough to take us out. I think maybe we probably should have shielded there, and we probably would have been in a better position. But again, I had too much faith in the whole like Dragalge closer vibe. Here, I don't bait on the fur, and I think my thought process was a bait is probably obvious because there's two shields, but they respect it. They end up respecting the outrage, and I think because of that, we don't have a chance here. It looks like we might. Maybe if we get the second bait off. Yeah, I know Swift is gonna add up extremely fast, and they're on quick attack, so they're going to be getting to these Swifts way quicker than they would have if they were on Sucker Punch. And okay, I don't think we should have went for a catch, but I don't think we did. I'm watching this thinking like, oh yeah, yeah, tap tap man, go for the catch, go for the catch. But we end up CMP tying instead, and this should do a substantial amount of damage. And I'm waiting. I'm not waiting, but like I'm a little bit patient. You can see with my tap because I'm wanting to get to the outrage, but I also don't want it to be caught on the low health Beedrill, and we don't have enough health on any of our Pokemon to get rid of this Beedrill. And yeah, the bug bites on that. Yo, bug bite Beedrill was kind of saucy. All right, I'm sorry. Two more battles. Two more battles. So right now it's Ariados into Vigoroth. And I like this because we resist the counter, and they have to settle for. We don't have to. They could do bodies. They could do body slams, but they should settle for a rock slide. But here's my favorite part about this. Right, this is one of the showcases of especially like a neutral matchup. Vigoroth in any standard battle against Ariados will never shield the first move, which is what makes Megahorn so devastating. Like they're never wanting to shield the first move, and this time the first move is a nuke. Now, I do remember last second that they have rock slide, so I throw up the shield and I'm like, oh yeah, rock slide. In comes their rollout barrel, and I'm like, okay, cool. Um, this what was that one, two, three, and I saw three, and so I think I'm just gonna try to one in cash, but it doesn't work. So I go one, and I get the next rollout. They should have the hyper the surf there, but they didn't surf. They had some patience there, and they over farm a bit, and they're able to throw a Hyper Fang. Luckily for us, this Hyper Fang is debuffed. And so we do two Dragon Breaths and queue up a Swift. Now, Barrel is pretty glassy Pokemon, so I imagine that a shield will come up. And they do use one of their shields. Their Vigoroth is extremely low, so they got to put their shields onto something that can do something. And if I'm right, I think we still live this Hyper Fang, but not long enough. Wait, long enough to get to the Swift too. Oh my God, bro. Kingdra is him. This is supposed to be about Ariados and nobody respecting Megahorn and how Dragalge is the actual EUIC meta. But yo, your boy is showing out. And in comes a Spiritomb, and I think Spiritomb is the better sucker puncher in this meta. They attempt to catch onto their Vigoroth, and that puts them in a very, very bad position because they were off a bit. They might have succeeded on the catch if they were on, because I don't think I was waiting for one. I won't lie. In this particular situation, that wasn't like patience. That was pretty much luck on that my opponent like miscounted. But yeah, we're able to get to the outrage anyway, and I decide shielding this because I feel like even a debuff outrage is better than nothing. So we're gonna take this Rock Tomb. We're not gonna take it. We're gonna shield it, but we're gonna get debuffed by the Rock Tomb. And let's see how much the outrage does. Okay, and outrage does 1,000,000 damage, and we're definitely going to outpace to the lunge, and lunge will do just enough damage to get rid of this Spiritomb. And we win another battle. GG's. All right, getting into the actual final battle, and it's Ariados into Kingdra. Now, what good times, right? Where you know that this part dragon Pokemon does not care about your Trailblaze, at least the first one, right? And they're conditioned because, you know, we're so used to Ariados being on one moveset. And so I feel free to just go straight for the Mega Horn. I don't want to be debuff hungry. I just want to get some big damage. Let's see what happens. And the Mega Horn lands in nearly one shot. It puts me in a position where I can just come in with Kingdra and just snipe down. I have almost half of an Ariados. I've got a Kingdra up energy, and in comes a Poison Jab, Shiny Beedrill, non-shadow. Now, I go straight for the outrage, and my reasoning behind going for the outrage instead of baiting is I don't care if they shield. I really want to make life easier for my Dragalge. So them shielding just is a benefit for me here. I want that to happen. And I'm probably going to yeah, I'm probably gonna let this go. I do let it go. It almost one-shots me, but we're able to get to a Swift. Now, if opponents counting, they know it's not another outrage. They probably don't want to go down 2 shields, but let's see what they want to do. They do let it go. Beedrill is pretty glassy, so it does die to that. I decide here that since I'm up 2 shields, I'm just gonna respect any damage coming from this Beedrill, which will likely be Drill Run. Ends up being Drill Run, and they come in with a Vigoroth, and yeah, Vigoroth, because we resist the counter damage because of our poison subtyping, is not a good matchup for Vigoroth. I mean, they do respect our outrage, but now they are down shields, and I decide that I know that I'll live a Rock Slide, or they're probably gonna go for Body Slam spam. Either one of those things, I'm going to live. If they end up getting to a second move, I will shield, but this trainer goes for Brick Break, and I guess they thought that I was going to shield, so they wanted to do a cheeky Brick Break followed up by a Body Slam, which would have probably been enough to knock me out. But instead, we no shield, and they suffer for it. And yo, GG's, we win another battle with the Dragalge Ariados combo. Now, we didn't talk enough about Kingdra. Kingdra is really safe. Kingdra beats Spidops. Kingdra beats a lot of things. And as you can see, the 2 back Pokemon have Outrage, which is a super huge nuke move. And the only Pokemon in the meta that resists that move is Grimmsnarl. So essentially, if the person doesn't have Grimmsnarl on their team, that particular ABB strategy will work out for you. And if they do have Grimmsnarl on that team, you have to either try your best to bait it out, or if you catch it in the lead, you win, because as soon as you neutralize Grimmsnarl, this team just goes to town. Now, I don't imagine this team continues to work after this. I was in like the 2300s range. I'm pushing close to 2400s. I mean, we're done with the gym leader challenges, so we are doing real battles and playing for real most of the time. So we'll see how far we go in the EUIC meta. But if you've enjoyed this video, if you learned anything about the EUIC meta, if you want to run this team, go ahead. It's probably still going to work. Also, yeah, once again, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment if you can. It's your boy Tap, man. Thanks for hanging out.